being brought to you by Banner Payson Medical Center, George Henry Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, At Your Service Cleaning and Tree Service, ITE Group Computer Services, Anytime Fitness, and Hospitality Wireless. It's finally Friday. It's 5 minutes past 9 o'clock. It's 72 degrees, and you know what that means. It's time for your hometown movie guys, telling us everything that's going on at the Sawmill Theaters and telling us more than we ever knew and sometimes even more than we wanted to know. Your hometown movie guys live in the studio, Tina, Craig, and Andy. How y'all doing this morning?
Just peachy.
Just peachy, that's it?
Yes.
So we're playing other things here.
You have the fastest fumbling fingers in radio.
Let me tell you something.
Not
So many
even
buttons.
hunky-dory?
Really.
So,
But I'm fine, Randy. Thank you.
now,
Thank you for asking.
You betcha. Now we were talking before the going on the air here. One of the movies that left us this week was Shaft, and it's had mixed reviews. But Andy, you said it was a pretty fun movie.
Yeah, it was. I saw it last night, and I got a real kick out of it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
And Craig said he saw what, 10 minutes of it?
30.
Oh, 30 minutes.
30, yeah.
And was that all it took, or?
It looked good. It did. It looked like a fun movie.
Have we heard anything about how that's been doing?
Not real good.
Just a
It
taker.
was-
We were also talking about Samuel L. Jackson, who was in that. There's not too many movies he's not in these days, but that guy is, he's quite the movie monster as far as
Prolific.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Interesting. So, and you
Yeah, I looked him up for an article a year or so ago, and at that time he had appeared in 200 movies, and he had a net worth of $200 million.
wow, that's more than I got.
Yeah, and do you remember the Tom Clancy based movie Patriot Games?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Very
Okay,
well.
he was the naval officer,
Right.
and boy, a very I don't know, unflamboyant role. He was a very serious guy, and not Samuel L. Jackson at all.
But in the Shaft, a little bit more of what you would expect from Samuel Jackson.
Yeah, well, he really did a good Shaft. There's one scene. There's one scene where
It's a double entendre there.
he's talking to his ex-wife through a apartment door, and the guy next door sticks his head out the door, because it's noisy.
Yeah, right.
And he gives this guy a look. Holy smokes! I don't wet my pants and just run away crying.
It all depends. Wow. Well, anyway,
But, anyway, it was fun. It's not a serious movie, but and, it's
so was the humor intentional?
Oh God, yes.
Oh, okay, so it
Yeah.
wasn't like you're laughing at, I can't believe they did that. It was
Oh
funny
no,
stuff.
no. It's funny stuff, and they put it in there on purpose.
Cool.
And Richard Roundtree, who is the original Shaft,
Right.
has a role in there too. So you've got Grandpa Shaft, you've got Daddy Shaft, and then you've got the
Shaftette.
baby Shaft Jr. And of course, Shaft Jr. is a millennial, and Shaft Sr. is giving him all sorts of advice that is not appropriate at all.
That sounds like fun. Well, anyway, that one left us, but I tell you, we have a lot of great movies still playing. Now, as far as the ones that are still playing, Aladdin, how many weeks has that been going now, Craig?
This is 1 month on that.
1 month. And
Yeah,
how's
keep-
that been working out for you
Oh,
locally?
it's done great.
Really?
Yeah,
And-
we're kind of loaded up on the kids' movies right now.
Right. Well, it's that time of year. They're all out of
Yeah,
school and everything. And
And Aladdin is another of the continuing series of Disney films where they've taken the classic animated films from the 30s and 40s and 50s and remade them with live actors. And if I recall correctly, this one is approaching $700 million in box office.
so
So
they've done well.
it's turned out to be a great idea. And Lion King will be coming up here pretty soon, and I expect that one will be just spectacular. Craig keeps calling this the year of Disney.
But they kind of all seem to be the year of Disney anymore.
Right.
It's been a few years since a company other than Disney, didn't win the box office wars, and it really doesn't look like they're going to stop here anytime soon. They're on a roll, and you know, some of these, I guess we're wanting to talk about some of these Pixar movies too, but,
Right.
they are really on a roll, and, yeah, it's not gonna stop soon.
Cool. Aladdin, I've seen the trailer for that, and, you know, Will Smith is this very large blue genie now.
Yes, yeah, you know, that was one too, yeah, you know, it's kind of, when the trailers first came out on this, everyone really kind of attacked Will Smith on this, that it was such a terrible, you know, no one even saw the movie. You know, and it's,
I saw the movie,
did you get
and
to see
I
it?
loved Will Smith. I
See,
thought he was great.
How did you like Aladdin itself, the movie?
It was eye candy, it was fun.
And you got a lot of the music from the animated one, right?
Yes, yes.
It's a musical.
Very, very beautiful. I mean, and the special effects and the, you know, the characters were great. I did find Aladdin, the actor who played him, to be a little bit, shall I call him a soy boy?
Soy boy, huh?
Yeah, a little effeminate.
Okay.
But, you know, then I was talking about, quote, toxic masculinity, and Andy said, you gotta see Shaft. And so-
From one extreme to the other, right?
Yeah, but Will Smith was the best thing about it. He was hysterical.
Yeah,
Really
Will Smith
funny.
is one, he's maybe lost a little bit of his star power, you know, there for many years, he was on top of Hollywood, and
Right.
Right.
Hollywood's pretty fickle, you know, a couple of bad choices on movies, and you kind of can fade from that limelight pretty quick.
He made his debut in that TV show,
The
Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's where it all started, right?
Yes, yeah.
Huh. Interesting. And anyway, Aladdin is rated PG. It plays at 1, 4, and 7. All of those are showing in 2D. Rocket Man, the Elton John story, still playing. That's rated R. Plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15. And I know, Andy, you love the music in this, of course.
Yeah, absolutely, and
Ditto.
this is one of the solidly profitable movies. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the producers is actually Elton John. And
No, you're not mistaken. There was.
okay, and,
Yeah, he was in charge.
after I did the math this morning, I figured that the producers, Elton John and the other producers, as of this point, have managed to put away $30 million in profits into their pockets. So that's making movies is fun in lots and lots of ways, but
Especially financially, maybe.
yeah, when they hit, they really hit. We'll talk about some of the ones that didn't hit.
Well,
Coming up.
we're also going to make our way up to a Pixar movie that's starting today. But one of the other ones that has been around, The Secret Life of Pets 2. What is this, second or third week on this?
Almost second?
Second.
It's the second or third week.
Right, there you go. And it's rated PG, good for the whole family. Continuing the story of Max and his pet friends following their secret lives after their owner leaves them for work or school each day. And again, plays at 1, 3, 10, 5, 20, and 7:30. How's this one been doing at the box office?
It's done really good.
Yeah.
And I think this was a June 7th release, so this would be the start of its third week.
You know, and I think this is another one too. I mean, I remember the first one, and there was enough funny stuff there for the adults as well as the kids. I mean, it was not you know, one of these. Well, I mean, it just wasn't something targeted solely at you know, kids under 5 or something. It was
Sure.
fun for the whole family.
Well, you know, I think Hollywood figured that one out a while ago, that you really can't do that. If you want a movie to really hit, you're gonna have to, you know, keep it interesting for adults too.
Right. Now, another one that's playing, Men in Black International. The Men in Black have always protected the Earth from the scum of the universe. In this new adventure, they tackle their biggest threat to date, a mole in the MIB. Now, I know we talked a little bit about this last week, and Andy, I did see your review in the Payson Roundup. And it sounds like I think your words were something to the effect of an all-star cast, but something else.
Yeah, it was a pretty ordinary movie, I think, not spectacular. It was entertaining, and the relationship between the two prime characters was about the best part of the movie, I thought. And you know, we were just talking about Will Smith. Of course, he starred in the first Men in Black movie, and he was terrific. There's an opening scene where he chases down a lizardy alien that is really fast, and Will Smith gets him, and he pulls it off, he makes us believe that he can do it. It is really good. I mean, the first of the movies was just spectacularly good, and this one is not. I mean, it's fun, it's a, good movie to go see, and it is not profitable as yet. Not anything like it.
Yeah, and this one, it did 30 million its opening weekend, which, for summer movie expectations, that's just not gonna cut it.
Right.
Well, there is a different expectation for a movie when it's coming out here in the summertime. These things are supposed to hit.
But he's really a great comic actor. And, back to Aladdin, and he's the best thing about the whole movie.
Really?
Yeah, I really think so. And there's one scene in which he dresses Aladdin to make him more like a prince, and it is just hysterical. It's just that, having been around the rag trade, which I was when I lived in LA, these guys.
Hold it, wait.
The rag trade, the fashion.
Oh, is that what it's
That's what's
the
called the
rag
rag
trade.
trade. The rag trade. And I actually dated a guy who was a designer in the rag trade and a sewer. And it's just hysterical watching him drape Aladdin and with all the special effects magically, becoming an outfit. But he caught the essence of the sort of silly, wonderful quality of that stupid fashion stuff that we all love to look at. So,
Interesting,
we
interesting.
the chicks,
Yeah, the chicks. Well, and some guys. 16 minutes past 9 o'clock. Hey, we have a caller on the line. Before we lose him, let's take a call. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Thanks for calling. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And now my ears are cleared out.
Contracts and sales.
All right, we have to take a fast break. When we come back, again, if you have something you'd like to chime in on, we'd like to hear from you too. 474-2427, the number to call. One of the things, we're going to be talking, there's a Pixar movie that starts today. And the Pixar, of course, amazing with what they've done with animation and everything. We've got a bunch of details for you coming up on that. Also, I want to ask you the question today. Just day before yesterday, it was National Pets in Film Day. So we're asking you, what's your favorite movie that has pets in it? We've got a list of about a dozen or so here, and I'm sure there's many, many more. But so, Tina, what's the...
Cujo.
Cujo.
I'm just having a moment. Right, yeah, but I'm thinking that's the
Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, I know, that's the penultimate, wicked pet, Cujo. We want Cujo to guard our home.
Right.
Old Yeller.
Oh, Yeller.
Yes, now I will weep.
I'm gonna cry. All right, we're gonna go cry real quick. We'll be right back after this. We got a rip to pay a bill here. All right, so somebody's calling in.
Tell him to wait.
I'll be with you in just a moment, all right?
Keep track of your vital signs
You're right.
in the hospital.
So you're-
also
thank you.
experts from our specialized hospitals can be
Take mine
part of
as
our
well.
medical team
And
without you
remember
leaving Payson.
Bruiser
Find out more at
from, Legally Blonde?
bannerpayson.com/telehealth. Banner Payson
The
Medical Center.
Oh,
yeah. Bruiser.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Turner and Hooch.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that
Any movie with Hooch in it. is
Right.
the
Right.
Bull Mastiff.
You know,
Yeah.
I went back and rewatched that not long ago, and Tom Hanks, even back then, was just great.
He was.
Just great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And of course the dog, big slap.
I'm trying to think of any movie that Tom Hanks hasn't been great in. There's not one that comes to
He's
mind.
just awesome. Yeah. He really is.
Remember Bachelor Party?
I vaguely
That was
remember
one of his
mine.
first movies
And you're
ever.
saying.
That was one of his
That was
first
the one,
movies?
Yeah. Oh, no, it was funny. It was, but it was.
I don't think I ever saw that.
No, they got a bachelor party going, and they got a stripper and a mule, and the mules.
Is that Tijuana or what?
The mule's
Two of these
doing,
things in
yes,
one
yes.
breath?
The mule's doing lines of cocaine off the table. He eats all these pills and he dies. And it was,
Oh.
yeah, it was pretty wild.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That sounds like a fun movie.
It was over the top for sure.
I
Can't imagine that.
And he's the star of the movie that's opening today.
Toy Story.
Toy Story? Yeah.
Tom Hanks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
928-468-0000 or shoot text to 928.
Oh, duck, okay. Here we go, 3 seconds.
Hospitality Wireless.
Welcome back to Rim Country Forum, 19 minutes past 9 o'clock, 73 degrees. This morning...
Get the caller, get the caller.
Exactly, quick, before we lose it. We're talking with the hometown movie guys and taking your calls at 474-2427, asking you about your favorite movie with a pet in it too, and whatever else is on your mind, give us a ring. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum, good morning. Okay. Ooh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Marley and
Oh,
Me, yeah, that was a good
Boy,
one.
that was a weeper, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, see, that dog would have been gone before it was gone.
Right.
If it was in my household.
And so now, going back to the Trigger and the Roy Rogers TV show and movies, what was it about the horse? I mean, just the whole stereotypical, riding off into the sunset on the big white horse and all that, or what was your, what drew you to that? Mm-hmm.
Right.
Very
Right.
cool.
Well, there's Trigger and then there's Hi-Yo Silver.
Hi-Yo Silver,
Yeah.
away! Yeah,
Yeah.
all right. Well,
There you
yeah, I didn't even think about that. I think most of the stuff on my list here are, for the most part, all dogs and stuff. But I think that's true. I mean, there's a number of movies that had horses in it. National Velvet.
Oh,
That goes back a
yes.
gazillion years or so. But
And
hey,
Black Beauty.
yeah,
Oh,
thanks
dear.
for the phone call, by the way. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second, but we want to finish letting you know what all's playing at the Sawmill Theaters now. Another one, it's a spooky one, it's rated R, plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15. It's Child's Play. A mother gives her son a toy doll for his birthday, unaware of its more sinister nature. Another one of these, the doll comes to life and creeps everybody out movies?
Yeah, well, Chucky has kind of a following. That was they've done what, 5 or 6 of these now.
So this is still Chucky, huh?
This is still Chucky, but what they did here is it's kind of a remake where Chucky's hooked up to Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, so he's kind of
He's
a
an app.
little bit of a home assistant, yeah, also.
He's an app.
Yeah, he's,
Oh.
yeah,
Hey,
a little bit of an
Chucky.
app, yeah. But still just as evil, so.
Ooh,
And,
an evil app.
This is an R-rated one, so you're gonna.
So with the advent of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and everything, this helps keep Chucky from becoming Chuck E. Cheese.
He's a millennial now,
Ah, there you go. All right.
millennial Chucky.
And
Not supposed to be too bad.
Really?
Just, I think at 50 on Metacritic, which for a horror film is
Right.
pretty decent.
are you into horror films at all, Tina?
Depends.
Really?
Yeah.
And what?
Well, if they're horror or if they're scary.
Slashers.
I mean, slasher.
Well, there's some of those movies like
Yeah.
the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff. Where
Nah,
I mean, all you
nah.
have to do is listen to the music track, and you know something's about to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like really, I got more things to
Very
talk about.
selectively.
Right.
I mean, I loved some of the Stephen King.
Favorite horror movie of all time?
I'd have to think about that.
The Shining.
I was just going to say
Oh,
The
The
Shining.
Shining, but
Here's
also
Johnny.
Night of the Living Dead, the black and white.
Right.
That's seriously.
That really is good.
I mean, it's like a nightmare in black and white. I
Huh.
think I dream in black and white, maybe that's why, but that is just such a classic, scary, and then the ending, for those of you who have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. The ending is totally unexpected.
Wow.
Yeah. And in that scene where all of the zombies are kind of staggering across the field,
Right.
one of them, at least one of them, is a naked woman, and all of them are unpaid volunteers.
Was that right?
Yes.
Really?
And
Is that George Romero?
George Romero
Yeah.
talked some woman into taking her clothes off for his
Oh my
movie
goodness.
for free.
Well, zombies, I mean, come on, then I have to go to Shaun of the Dead, because that's one of my favorites. Horror?
As for the
Horror
character,
or comedy.
as for the
It's
character that Andy's
horror.
talking about, it's just way too many potential one-liners.
Zombieland,
I'm gonna
yeah.
steer
Zombie
clear.
movies,
Yeah,
yeah.
Zombieland will be
Legend.
coming out, and Zombieland 2. And hopefully, we're gonna be able to get The Dead Don't Die also with Bill Murray
Huh.
out currently. But
Wow. Well, now, the other movie rounding out the slate at the Sawmill Theaters is Toy Story 4. And there's a reason why they've now made a 4th edition of this. And I think I've seen, I know I've at least seen the first 2 extensively with grandkids and everything. But I mean, these are also very entertaining movies. The animation is done really well. It's entertaining for everybody in the family. It's not just like a kids animated thing. It's good for everyone.
Yeah, well, this one is rated G.
Right.
Yeah, you don't see too many G-rated films here.
Right.
And 84 on Metacritic with this one.
But it seemed like, and I don't know about this one, but in the past, I mean, there was a lot of different little one-liners and things like that just, kept it funny for, the old grandparents like me, watching along with their grandkids and stuff. I thought it was thoroughly entertaining.
Well, this Toy Story is supposed to be well, they think it might break the record for animated films. The
Wow.
opening for it. This is going to be a big movie.
Right. But now, and Pixar, who is behind this, Andy, we were talking just before the show today, and I mean, have they had anything that was a flop ever? I mean, do you know? In a word, no.
No.
But you've got some details.
The Good Dinosaur was probably their least successful of their, well, now with today's movie, it'll be 21 movies that they've made. But the Good Dinosaur, 2015, only made $332 million.
Oh, that's sad. And, but
But this is an amazing outfit. The company was formed, well, the entity, let me put it that way, the entity was formed in 1979 as an arm or a department within Lucasfilms.
oh, it came out of Lucas. I didn't realize that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, he talk about being innovative. I mean, he kind of just changed the whole world that way.
Sure.
Sure, Star Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was a kind of a I don't know, a think tank or a place where they could do experimentation and develop new techniques and that kind of stuff. And they puttered around with that for I don't know, about 7 years or so. And if you remember a guy named Steve Jobs,
Oh yeah.
well,
Yeah.
The apple
He,
of somebody's eye.
yeah, he stepped away from Apple and left it for other people to run. And that turned out to be a bad idea. But for some years, he was away from Apple.
Right.
And one of the things that he did to keep himself busy was he bought Pixar.
I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he took it from being a kind of a technical shop to being an actual movie production studio. And within a few years, they came out with their first movie, Toy Story. And it was, at the time, it was the first animated film that was done completely with computers.
All digital.
All digital, and that it has literally revolutionized the industry. Just
Yeah.
a amazing thing. And he kept it. He kept it for I don't know, 10 years or so, and then peddled it off to Disney for $7.4 billion.
Wow.
And then he turned his attention back to Apple, and turned Apple into, well, it may be, as of today, it may be the largest company in the world in terms of stock market value.
Wow.
It's back and forth between Amazon and Apple.
Quite a visionary. Even that movie about the life of Steve Jobs was really pretty fascinating to watch. I don't know how much of that was Hollywoodized or whatever, but very interesting guy.
Just an amazing genius.
Really?
And I'm sure that in the population of Bulgaria, there are the ordinary ratio of amazing geniuses, 1 in a million, or whatever it is. I don't know what the ratio is. But there are people that are that powerful with their minds. But none of the amazing geniuses in Bulgaria have done what Steve Jobs has done. And it's because Steve Jobs is an American. He lives in a country where people are allowed to run as far and as fast as they possibly can and be applauded for it rather than being brought down and tackled and punished for it. And after inventing the Apple computers, he could have sat on his laurels, counted his money, and raised roses and been happy as anything for the rest of his life. But that wasn't enough. that wasn't enough for him because he had that inner drive
Mhm.
and the ability to put that drive into practice. Just an incredible guy.
Truly. Well, Toy Story 4, when a new toy called Forky joins Woody and the gang, a road trip alongside old and new friends reveals how big the world can be for a toy. Again, this plays at 1, 4, and 7. The 4 o'clock showing is in 3D. It's rated G. And have you had a chance to see this yet?
I have not. It's at an 84 on Metacritic though.
84.
So about as good as a score as you're gonna see on there.
Right.
You know, and these movies all have, real positive messages that go along with them.
That's one nice thing about it. I mean, there's kind of a moral to the story and
Yes,
an
yeah.
underlying message. I like that.
Sure, and they're fun for everybody, and like I said, this one rated G, this is gonna be, great for everyone, from, the wee ones on up, so.
Right. Sounds good. And of course, real quick too, we also want to mention that the summer kid movies are here. As a matter of fact, this next Monday, The Goonies will play. That's at 10:30 in the morning. On Thursday at 10:30, open season, and the kids can get in for just $5, and that even includes a small drink and small popcorn. How's that been going so far?
They're doing pretty good, yeah.
Wait, in your second week now of the kids movies?
We've
Third?
got, we'll be starting our third week, yeah.
Wow, very cool.
So, yeah, not too bad. We've got a lot of the preschools coming in and stuff and watching movies, and gives all the kids something to do in the summertime.
Very cool.
And hopefully I'm going to be able to get to go see Goonies with a couple of lower grandkids, so that'll be a hoot for me.
Someone's going to lend off their grandkids to you. Here, go with him for a while. Yeah. Oh, wait, boy, you're bothering me. Yeah, anyway, hey, we have to take a fast break, get you caught up on today's weather forecast. When we come back, also want to find out from you your favorite pet in a film or television show. And we got a number of them. How about Lassie from Lassie Comes Home?
Definitely.
That goes back to
And Rin
1943.
Tin Tin.
Yeah, those are other ones from way back when.
Yeah.
We'll find out a few other ones, and if you have one that comes to your mind, give us a call, 474-2427, the number. Back with more right after this.
This weather is being
The
brought to you
Pitbull
by
and John
River
Wick.
I wish I could remember
the
line
Age,
from
but
the
it was
animated
wonderful.
movie with the two Siamese cats.
Outdoor and power equipment.
Who?
Your
Yeah.
KMOD
I am
weather forecast for Friday,
Siamese.
June
I
20th.
am Siamese.
If you please, there you
We
are.
are Siamese if you don't please.
What movie was that from?
Lady and the Tramp.
Lady
Lady
and
and
Tramp.
Tramp.
And I wrote
Lady
that
and
down.
Tramp.
Lady and Tramp.
There you go. That
Yeah,
was a pet
that's
movie.
great.
I really like
They're
that.
high near 73.
We could sing that.
And our
on
neighbors
there.
to the
And,
south end, Tono Basin, smoky conditions
Is
forecast.
that Doris Day that did that?
98.
I
And
think
more
it
hot,
might
dry
have
weather
been.
heading
Yeah.
our way.
And it was just cutting edge technology,
It was
because
awesome.
she sang both parts. She sang one part and they recorded it, and then they played it again, and she sang the second part. And I don't think that anybody had ever done that before. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was 1955.
A variety of trailers.
And you know the part in that movie of the tramp
Chainsaws.
was a characterization of Clark Gable from the
Yes.
word go.
Yes. Oh, I
That's
remember.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Isn't that great?
East Highway 260, Star Valley. Call or text.
I just vaguely remember that movie. I know I've seen it. What was that, 1960s?
At your service.
55.
1955.
And it's so sweet when they
Oh.
they both get the same spaghetti noodle.
Yeah.
Oh, young love.
Considering that dogs and cats, or dogs can't suck.
Yeah.
I don't know, my wife's got 3 dogs, and I think they all suck. That's a whole other story.
We offer free estimates and discounted rates for seniors and veterans. We are friendly and
Yeah, is it pretty smoky out your house?
Give us a call at
It's
928-970-2088.
on and off, it has been. Last Saturday morning was horrible. Welcome back to Rim Country Forum. It is 27 minutes in front of 10 o'clock, 73 degrees, and your hometown movie guy is with us in the studio this morning. And one of the things we wanted to ask you about is your favorite pet in a film or on television. And I mentioned before the break there, Lassie from Lassie Comes Home, or Lassie Come Home. That was in 1943, arguably the most famous canine character of all time. Lassie was a female rough collie and appeared in a series of short stories, TV shows, and films, the most famous of which was Lassie Come Home, starring, anyone got a guess? Elizabeth Taylor and Roddy McDowell.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Lassie represented courage, honor, and unshakable loyalty, and selflessly put herself in dangerous situations to save her human friends. And long before it was really appropriate to come out of the closet, little did we know that some of those lassies were actually lads. There was a
They were.
number of different dogs over the years that played the part, but anyway, long hair helped to conceal that. Anyhow, another one real quick. Well, I won't get to that yet. I'll get to the phones instead. Let's try not to lose another call.
Oh, good idea.
I like it too. 474-2427. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning. Hi there. How you doing? There you go.
Oh,
happy,
that's right.
Happy summer solstice.
Yes.
The acting was just so good, and the way they segged, all the segues from when he was little. That little kid actor was so good, and
He was great.
I love the grandma too.
Yeah.
But that whole movie was really good, and of course I've been a fan of Elton John since I was, I'm talking 13, 14 years old.
Yep, same with me.
It gets kind of teary-eyed on some of those.
There's so many great hits that he produced and everything. I'm anxious to, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm anxious to go see it too.
Al, did you recognize Dallas Bryce Howard as his mom? Yeah, I was neither. She, as we like to say, she disappeared into the role. I had to look it up after I watched the movie, and because I knew she was in it, but I didn't recognize her. Yeah,
Right,
Freckles is the
right.
giveaway, isn't it?
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, he did do a lot of great music. What about the whole idea of the your favorite pet in movies or television? What anything come to mind now?
Black Stallion.
Ah, the Black
Yes.
Stallion.
Oh, wonderful movie.
I have this really old DVD. Jeff Daniels and Anna Paquin, Fly Away Home. And it's about this, middle school age, girl and her kind of estranged father. And they learn, what family means because this is so cute, they adopt an orphaned flock of geese and teach them to fly.
Yeah, I remember that movie. That's a really sweet movie. Yeah.
And what was the name of it again?
Fly Away Home.
Fly Away Home.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good movie.
I love ultralights.
All right, interesting. Well, appreciate that. Fly Away Home. I'll have to make a note of that. And
Yeah.
see, but I imagine that's something that's probably pretty easily obtainable on Netflix or something like that.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hey, thanks, appreciate the call. Well, what about, when you talk about pets in film, I'm thinking of like some of the most famous, Lassie, of course, the probably at the top of the list, but right behind that, how about Toto from The Wizard of Oz?
I was just gonna say, yes.
I mean, that's gotta be,
Yep,
that
little terrier.
and Toto too.
Toto too.
Yeah, and Toto, the faithful little companion of Judy Garland's heroine Dorothy, was actually a female Cairn Terrier named Terry. At the time of filming, Terry was paid $125 a week a salary, an astronomical sum rather for that time. In fact, it was more money than most of the human actors made. So apparently they really appreciated the part of Toto in that movie.
Yeah,
$125.
yeah.
Boy, the budgets have changed a bunch, haven't they?
How about the little Jack Russell from The Mask? Jim
Oh,
Carrey, Cameron
yeah,
Diaz.
yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was pretty cool.
Oh, I
Especially when he
and
had the
Frasier.
mask on.
Puts the mask
Yeah,
on, yeah,
and
it's those little-
Frasier had a Jack Russell.
On
Yeah.
Frasier on the TV show.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're little monsters. They
Oh,
really
they
are.
are.
Oh, tell me, I've got one.
I
And
had three. Yeah,
I am so
Oh.
thankful that mine is now almost 14 years old, and it's in declining health right now, so I shouldn't make too many jokes. But Man, this dog is, when they're young, that's, I've said many times, it's like going into a racquetball court and throwing a super ball as hard as you can. It's just all over the place.
Yeah, that's
But anyway, she's mellowed out now, but she still runs in her sleep and shakes unintentionally and all kinds of strange things. Anyway, but then don't we all? Back to the phones again. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning.
Trigger. I don't think most people realize just how smart Trigger was.
So you weren't quite done with that
I
yet,
belonged to
huh?
the Roy Rogers fan club back in the late 40s.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
And I actually got when I joined the Roy Rogers fan club, I even got an autographed picture of Trigger, and he signed it himself.
So has it got like a big hoof print on it or what? Oh, wow. One of the few horses that really mastered the art of calligraphy.
The Jeep signed one too. But anyway, the horse did. And my favorite animal, I love the monkeys from The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, the flying monkeys out. As a kid, those just scared the wee ones out of me.
Me too.
As a kid, everything else, the Wicked Witch of the West, fine, some weird green lady with a big nose.
Monkeys,
but the flying monkeys, they
yeah.
freaked me right out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
And then when I went to the zoo one time and saw some of the typical hygiene habits of monkeys, I thought, you know, I might like to have a pet like that someday, but I changed my mind quickly.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for calling back.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. And of course, we mentioned Rin Tin Tin from Where the North Begins. That was back in 1923. Nicknamed Rinty by his human co-stars, Rin Tin Tin was a German Shepherd featured in a series of adventures of Rin Tin Tin films starting in 1923. Corporal Lee Duncan, an aerial gunner in the U.S. Army Air Service, rescued Rin Tin Tin from a damaged kennel while stationed in France in 1918.
Well,
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Pretty cool. Now, another one, and I guess I completely forgot about this dog's name, but I certainly remember another bunch of TV shows that I enjoyed watching as a kid, but these were actually made back in the late 20s and into the 30s. Pete the Pup from Our Gang.
That's right.
Later known as the Little Rascals, Our Gang was an immensely popular series of films screened throughout the 1930s. At its center was Pete the Pup, aka Petey, a character originally played by an American Staffordshire Terrier named Pal the Wonder Dog. Pete the Pup's most distinctive feature was the ring around his right eye, a mark that Pal the Wonder Dog was actually born with and was incorporated into the show.
Yep.
When Pal died in 1930, his replacement was Pete the Pup. Pete the Pup, was his own offspring named, golly, why did I have to get into this? Named Lusney's Peter, and all subsequent dog actors after Pal had the circle drawn around their right eye with makeup. I'm still wondering about that name. That's very strange. How about Beethoven from the Beethoven movie?
I was going to say
Moving right along.
Beethoven, yeah.
That was a St. Bernard, right?
I believe so.
Yep.
Turner and Hooch.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, there you go.
Turner
That was a good one.
versus Lauber.
Yeah, the
Lady in the Tramp.
Mastiff.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the most amazing amount of drool
Yes.
ever put on cinema.
I tell you, I used to, I trained up a couple of bloodhounds for search and rescue. You never want to talk about food or have a bloodhound smell food while it is in your house. They shake their head, you're going to have stalactites hanging off the ceiling.
Yeah, right.
And actually, we had Michelle from the office here just handed me a note, and we had someone call in with us earlier, and it was a little known thing. We were talking about, I think we were talking about Lassie earlier in the morning show this morning, and the guy that called in and won our trivia contest gave us a trivia question, and who was called the Lassie in a wetsuit?
Flipper.
That's right.
Flipper.
They called him
Oh, my
Flipper.
word.
And
Yes,
I used to watch that. That was
Yeah.
a good show back in the day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, then, you've got to look at movies like Eight Below,
All
which
right.
had all the dogs. I mean, and that was apparently taken from a true story. Right? And then, of course, Don was saying Lady and the Tramp.
Oh, Lady in the Tramp.
Really, and it
That's an
wasn't
animated
Doris
one.
Day, by the way. It was a woman named Barbara Luddy, and then Peggy Lee sang in. It was Peggy Lee who was the singer, in that.
Really?
But we were singing during the break, you know, the "We Are Siamese."
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, and if you don't.
That's
But, yeah, interesting. Say, how about Benji from the Benji films? That was 1974.
Yes.
The first one of those.
Yeah.
Also, as was mentioned earlier, Old Yeller. I didn't realize that goes back to 1957. The tragic tale of a young Texas boy and his Labrador Retriever Mastiff mix is arguably the most heartbreaking canine film to date. Based on the 1956 children's novel by Fred Gibson, Old Yeller captures the heart-breaking sense of loss that comes when a beloved pet is suddenly taken away. This iconic role was played by Spike, a rescue dog raised by animal trainer Frank Weatherwax, actually. He went on to appear in a handful of other films and TV series, including a spot-on Lassie that aired on TV from 1954 to 1973.
My second favorite dog,
What's that?
Jerry Lee in Jim Belushi's Canine.
Jerry Lee and Jim Belushi's Canine. I don't think I saw that.
German Shepherd.
German Shepherd, very good. Wow.
Toto's my favorite.
There you go. Another interesting one. Thanks.
How about Clint Eastwood, Every Which Way But Loose?
Oh,
Clyde.
Yes.
Yeah,
The orangutan.
The orangutan.
The orangutan,
And,
yeah.
I don't know, that just seems like, you should never have a co-star that could upstage you. They can't even, speak.
Well, animals can always upstage.
Oh, that's for sure.
And Clyde was a real cuddler. You know, he would just climb up and snuggle right into Clint Eastwood. That's charming.
Yes.
Yeah, those monkeys get kind of Anyway, back to the phones again real quick. Hi, you're on Room Country Forum. Thanks for calling. Hello. Hi there, you're on the air. Hi, thanks for calling.
Off of Turner and Hooch.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we tend to agree, but
Right.
it's amazing how much goop can come out of one of those faces. Hey, you two, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. Turner and Hooch.
And Turner and Hooch was played by Tom Hanks.
Right.
And Tom Hanks has the leading role in the movie that starts today.
Toy Story.
Toy Story, yeah.
Right.
He plays the cowboy.
Woody.
All
right.
And then if we go to animated films
Right.
and Pixar, the movie Up has
Oh.
the dogs in, and it has that classic line, "He wears the cone of shame."
Ah,
And
yes.
I love that movie. I really do.
Yeah, I know that is one of your favorites, isn't it?
It is.
There's a great scene in Pixar's Up where the dog is running along doing something and he says the word squirrel and
Yes.
he's completely undone. He just
Yes.
squirrel?
Yes, and that was, when I was teaching school, and the kids, had picked that up and would use that, and it's so funny. It's just the ultimate distraction word. Squirrel.
My son has a border collie that's now getting older, but in its younger days, if you made the mistake while the dog was in the house of saying, "Get the cows,"
Uh-oh.
holy mackerel, you'd think this dog was going to jump right through a window. I mean, just amazing how genetic that can be.
Speaking of border collies, I believe Fly in the movie Babe was a border collie. I'm not sure,
Oh.
but if you remember, Babe is such a wonderful little movie, and the dog was so important in that whole scene.
Babe was a pig, wasn't it?
Babe was a pig.
Yeah.
And Babe was pretty much.
And I mean that
pet, too.
affectionately.
Yes, and then.
Because, that's just one step closer to being bacon, and that's what I like.
And then there's Bruiser.
Bruiser.
Remember the little Chihuahua in Legally Blonde with
Oh.
Reese Witherspoon?
Yeah.
That is a wonderful movie.
And the dog's name was Bruiser?
Yes,
Oh.
little Chihuahua.
I do remember that movie.
Yeah.
How about Buddy from the Air Bud movies? I don't think I ever saw this one. 1997.
Air Bud?
Yeah, they weren't very good movies.
No.
That might be why I didn't see it. How about Comet from
But
Full House?
The
Yes.
dog was good.
Oh, okay.
The dog
Yeah.
played basketball.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Heck, the Hooch from Turner and Hooch, that was getting a bunch of different comments this morning, and all because he just slobbered a bunch. Comet from Full House, that was on the air from 87 to 95. For dog lovers, Comet was considered the best member in the Tanner family clan, and it's easy to understand why. The Golden Retriever had a knack for stealing scenes with his comic timing. At the time the series first aired, Buddy, the dog actor who played Comet, was well on his way towards stardom. He's the same pooch who played the original Air Bud. So there you go, a little bit of trivia for you.
And then
Oh.
Einstein in Back to the Future.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love that movie as well.
Another one I think was mentioned earlier was Eddie Crane from Frasier.
Yep.
It was on the air from 1993 to 2003. Moose, a Parson Russell Terrier, didn't have an easy start to life. Born in 1990, he was too much for his original owner to handle, resulting in his surrender to a company that trained animals for film and television appearances. After only 6 months of training, he got his break. The rambunctious pup was cast on the hit show Frasier, performing as the beloved dog Eddie. Producers on the show claimed Eddie received more fan mail from his human than his human co-stars. After the series went off the air, Moose retired. He died in 2006 after a battle with dementia. So,
Doggy members.
Yeah. There's some really sad one-liners here. I'm just going to stay clear of. And Marley from Marley and Me, new 2008, arguably one of today's most popular canine characters. Any others come to mind?
Yes, in John Wick, there is a pit bull. It has no name, but it's a wonderful character, especially the latest. The
one that just came out recently.
It sort of left me cold, the movie, but I loved the pit bull.
Huh.
The pit bull was great.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
That monkey had a name from Indiana Jones.
Oh,
Remember the little monkey,
yeah.
the little trader monkey.
Yeah.
That was turns out he was a Nazi.
Yeah.
That's right. He was a little Nazi monkey.
And then,
All
speaking of
Nazis
monkeys,
are
how about
monkeys.
the weird little monkey from Pirates of the Caribbean?
Oh, yes.
He was a zombie monkey.
A zombie monkey,
Yeah. And then if we go into, pet mice, Ratatouille. Can I say this? Ratatouille? Yes, the rat in Ratatouille was just charming. I loved him.
A really wonderful movie, and another movie by Pixar.
Right.
Yes.
And I think Ratatouille picked up an Oscar, but in total, there have been 19 Oscars awarded to Pixar movies for various things.
Wow, 19.
They have 20 movies, so it's a pretty good ratio.
Definitely.
And about half of the greatest animated movies of all time have been Pixar movies.
Real quick before we go back to the phones too, speaking of rodents in shows, the one that just freaked me out a lot when I was first taken to see it by one of my brothers, Ben. That was a freaky,
With a
strange.
song by Michael Jackson.
I want to sing to all the mice.
No, that song that he sang made me really aware of what an amazing voice he had. Yeah, Google that.
Didn't have the same effect on me.
Okay.
Made me aware of something else.
Yeah.
We won't go into that now. 8.5 minutes before 10 o'clock. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Thanks for calling. Hi there. Hey Terry, how you doing today?
Great. You
Okay.
Bandit.
Oh yeah, that was like what was that little it wasn't a terrier, but it was quite a bit like the one on
Bulldog?
Yeah, a little bulldog, I think, wasn't it?
Boston Terrier?
Yeah, kind of like the one from Little Rascals.
That they superimposed the human lips over them, so when they were talking, it looks like they were actually talking. Scott McCloud, Space Angel. Now, Adolf was the dog's name.
Wow, this sounds like something you must have really been into this as a kid or something.
Man, you are a treasure of esoteric stuff that we don't know.
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
I don't. Sorry. No.
How long ago would this have been?
When was this?
We done in the late 40s, early 50s, but they really did. They were all animated, but they would superimpose actual human lips speaking onto them. So it looked like they were doing the actual talking.
Well, that's just creepy.
Well, and along with that, though, I mean, you look at oh gosh, just like that, the name escapes me.
Francis the Talking Mule?
No,
Yes.
well,
Yeah, well, that
similar,
too, yeah.
but the horse, Wilbur.
Oh, Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed.
Yes.
And they had that
They did
horse.
that,
They
yeah.
had that horse talk by giving it peanut butter.
Yes.
And that's what made it go them all the time.
That's right.
Anyway, we have to take a fast break. Terry, thanks for the call. Good to
Thank
hear you,
you.
buddy. And we'll take a quick break, pay a couple of bills. We'll be back with more on Rim Country Forum right after this.
Okay, Bill Smith, Samantha.
Just remember, we have
and
a stop
I
set to do here before this
The
afternoon.
dog Samantha and
Never
I
leave where you are.
This is
Oh, done with that nonsense.
The lions eat them or the zombies get them?
We believe in celebrating the little
He
things.
did he get bit and turned into a zombie and choked her out?
Open
Oh.
24 hours a day,
And then Winn Dixie.
365 days a year.
You can find us at our
That was a
website,
really cool
Facebook,
movie. I
and
like
Instagram.
I thought that was a grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
The dinosaur, I think dinosaur.
Stop in or call.
And then 101 Dalmatians, Pongo and Pepsi.
928-8001.
Are computer issues taking time away from your business?
How about
your
Fritz the cat?
family, Your life?
Oh.
At the
Ooh,
RTD
now we're
Group,
gonna
they'll fix
let you.
any technology issue, big or small.
I mentioned that, but there's bound to be people out there that saw it, so.
And then the
Viruses and
Queen
malware,
had
repairing
corgis.
laptop screens,
Who?
fixing
Queen
networking
had
issues,
corgis.
repairing software and
It's the Queen of
hardware.
England.
That was the name of the movie?
They
Yeah.
can
Queen,
pick up
and
drop
she-
off your
she,
laptop, fix
raises
it on
corgis.
location, or
It's always
assist
been
you remotely.
Right.
Contact Sam
Yeah.
today
I'm
at
still waiting.
Helen Mirren?
680
I believe so, yes.
1775.
I'm still waiting for somebody to make a movie
ITDgroup.com.
about chow.
You'll find his ad and a link to
Oh.
his
If you've ever
website on our
seen
website,
Crocodile Dundee.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
The corgi running across the backs of the sheep as they herd the sheep. And then at the end, he's walking across the shoulders of the people in the subway.
Exactly, to reach, just to
We,
reach
we,
the subway.
we watched that movie and we were the only ones in the theater cracking up at every line because we lived there. We knew what they were talking
Oh,
about.
goodness, yeah.
One more commercial, we'll be back for
And then
about a
Annie,
4-minute wrap-up.
Sandy.
If you've been a victim of consumer fraud, you're not alone. I'm Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich.
Okay.
And I'm here to fight for you. Since 2015, my office
Any more
has helped
Pixar stuff
secure
you wanna do?
$80 million
Yeah, I wanna
in
talk
civil
about some of the
restitution
cast
and
in,
recoveries for all kinds of fraud.
Toy
Sales
Story
fraud, repair
opening
fraud,
today.
phone
Okay.
fraud, and more.
Any other animals
We
you
can
want to
only
talk
help
about?
if you report them.
We're gonna have about 4 minutes.
Please file a complaint with my
No.
office today at
Actually,
azag.gov.
about 4.5.
That's azag.gov.
75 degrees, 4.5 minutes in front of 10 o'clock right now, and talking to the hometown movie guys this morning, Andy, Craig, and Tina with us in the studio. And again, we've been talking about your favorite animals in a movie or television show, and it's been some of the conversation here during the commercial breaks, some of the most interesting stuff, but we won't go into that right now.
And you can see, if you want to look at us, you can go to YouTube to the Don Klein channel and see us. And
That's right.
see what we do.
You can just see how strange this is, and sadly,
How we are.
the camera is still rolling during the commercial break, so it'll be a whole different side of your hometown movie
We
guys
did
you've never
see.
seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did, didn't
We
we?
did.
Hey, we
Not
got
too badly.
another caller on the line right now at 3.5 in front of the hour. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning. Very good. How are you? Great.
My favorite movie, I would say, was Black Beauty. Taylor?
Oh,
That goes back a few
you're
years,
gonna
doesn't
make
it?
me cry.
That was a
is
good one.
Such a poignant, beautiful movie. Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff. Any others that stand out in your mind as far as a pet in a movie or television show? Boy. Right? You know, I think it'd be neat to have, if there could be a dog in real life that would, hey, go get help, oh, okay. Or go get a beer, oh, okay. Yeah, anyway, thanks for the call, appreciate it. Black Beauty was a great movie.
Yeah, it was.
And boy, that was a very young Elizabeth Taylor.
Yes.
That was, gosh, she was a teenager then, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Or at least not
Or
far from
early,
it.
yeah, yeah, and she was exquisite right from the get-go.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
So, in today's opening movie, Toy Story, of course, Tom Hanks plays Woody.
Mhm.
But Don Rickles is in the movie too.
Don Rickles, really?
Don
And
Rickles.
he's dead, you know?
Yeah.
So that's pretty fun.
What, that he's dead?
No, that he's,
And not for him, it's not, yeah.
that he's still
Sorry.
able to do movie work. Even,
Oh.
So what, do they just get an impersonator?
I'd
or-
have to go see the movie. No, it's him.
Oh, he
Really?
made it before he...
Oh, he made it before he passed away?
I assume so. Yeah.
Oh.
So this is a
Well,
real
he
killer
was the
part.
best. Oh, I love
Betty White.
I
Oh,
love
Betty
Betty White.
White.
Yeah.
She's gonna live to be 170.
Yeah, she's
Really?
94, 96,
And,
something like that.
and she's got some pretty racy humor at times. I just get a kick out of her. She's got just full of it.
Yeah.
Your favorite, Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves,
Yep.
yes.
That's in Toy Story also?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's a whole pile of famous people.
All right, we got less than a minute here. We've got one more call to try and take. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning. Thanks for calling.
Hey, Judy.
Right? Ah, is that?
Oh. Oh.
So, yeah, it's not a cheap facsimile, it's just a reproduction.
Oh my goodness.
Not mostly dead.
Completely dead, which reminds me a lot of my radio show.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, always a lot of fun to have the Hometown Movie Guys here again. Make sure you check out YouTube, go to the Don Klein channel, and you can get the behind-the-scenes look at exactly how crazy this is on Friday mornings. And of course, we always appreciate it when your Hometown Movie Guys come in here to the station. Of course, we appreciate it when you tune in and listen too. And even more so, we appreciate our sponsors that make it all happen. The good folks at Banner Payson Medical Center, George Henry Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, At Your Service Cleaning and Tree Service, ITD Group Computer Services, Anytime Fitness, and Hospitality Wireless.